Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Friday, 6:30 p.m., April 12th, and I wanted to do a quick analysis before I head out for the evening. So let me grab this YouTube link and throw it up to the community, guys. Let me see what's going on here. Should be going live. There we go. That's our video, and I'm gonna blast this out to everyone while I get a chance. There we go. Okay. Today we're going to talk about a couple things, guys. Particularly the price action that's happened over the past, 48 hours or so. The topping of BTC potentially topping, around 5,500. This is something that we spoke about for quite some time. And I mentioned there's a lot of supply, guys, waiting at 5,500, and our community was fortunate enough to learn about that well before that happened, and we knew exactly to take profits right there and get out of our trades and just walk away from the market and essentially just wait for better structures and setups, right? So if you were part of our community and you got into those trades at the right time and were able to walk out, kudos to you, right? So, I'm gonna post these links up in these different communities, and we'll start working on our analysis in just about a second. How's your Friday night going? Let me know what your thoughts are on BTC, what you guys are reading. As you guys know, I really don't follow other people's work as much. There's maybe like 2 or 3 people in the entire crypto space that I listen to about TA, because most of these people don't even know what they're talking about. So we try to, do a good job of filtering the noise in the crypto space and keeping to ourselves, and trying to understand exactly what the MO is of Bitcoin and where price action is actually taking us, right? So let's get to it. We're going to get to the 30-minute time frame right here. And this is something that we discussed yesterday and this morning. I stated that 5,100 is the level to watch. Okay, the reason being, when we had this, sort of up candle before a big rejection to the downside, this candle peaked off at right around $5,100 or so. And, to break above that would signify, some higher lows, but also then higher highs, which we haven't done yet, right? So that's why, breaking above 5,100 is going to be critical. And, for the most part, our community has essentially been waiting in cash, and we are, waiting for the best setup possible for us to get back into the market and, make some more gains, make some money, right, guys? So if you're part of the CryptoSomniac community, give me a thumbs up. If you're not, please come join, guys. www.cryptosomniac.com. The link should be just below, okay? So you're probably wondering, okay, so what exactly are we waiting for right now, and why are we waiting? All right, so let me sort of, move this right shoulder out here. It's a bit of a stretch. So what's really happened, guys, over the last, say 10 to 18 hours is that we saw this big dump off rejection from Bitcoin at 5,500, and this is something that we mentioned in our community. And once we dropped off, we started creating lower highs, bear flags and everything, and we started creating this inverse head and shoulders pattern. But remember that the right shoulder hasn't played out yet, okay? So for all I know, this pattern could just not play out, and this could actually just dump further, okay? But for that to dump further and invalidate this pattern, price needs to essentially keep moving sideways for a longer period of time, or it needs to take out the low of this head right here, okay? And that would mean that the low of the head is right around, as you can see, the low is 49.01, okay? So if the low of the head gets taken out from this potential right shoulder, that means this inverse head and shoulders is invalidated, and we may potentially be moving down even further. Okay, so where exactly does it mean that even further is going to take us? Well, the next big support that we really have under current prices after 50.66 is 50.30, and then finally all the way down to 48.05. Okay, so between, you know, say 50.30 right there, we may make a stop, you know, briefly right around this $4,900 area, and then we'll drop down again near $4,800. Okay, because that's really where the last time where we had, you know, a rejection of prices, and then we boosted on up, hit another, you know, resistance level around 5,300, and then came back, tested this area as support, and then drifted and moved away all the way to that $5,500 target. Okay, now I'm not saying that we can't make it back up again to 5,500. I'm just saying that the probabilities right now are leaning more bearish than bullish. Okay, at present stage, we're actually, you know, more neutral. The probabilities are that we are going to move sideways for a little while and potentially move back up towards 5,100, get rejected again, kind of like this wick right here, right? A rejection right there, and then come back down again. Okay, so those are some of the possibilities, you know, where price might actually move up and then come down again. So all you really need to do, guys, is simply pay attention to 5,100. Again, this is Coinbase prices, so I don't know what exchange you're on, but pay attention to 5,100. Okay. All right. Now let's go to the 4-hour chart. All right. So on the 4-hour chart, you know, this is something that was happening, and we basically, you know, talked about how once you break past this this trend line right here, which was holding prices up for a good amount of time in this channel, this ascending channel, right? As you can see, prices kept moving on up, touched the top of the channel, bottom again, top again, bottom again, and then it finally just took off up here, right? So so once prices took off, hit 5,500, as we'd stated before, 5,500 was a big resistance level. Okay, and you can see at the top of the supply is exactly where price hit, and we got rejected. Our community sold off everything right in this candle right here on this day, and we walked away from the market pretty much, and, you know, haven't come back into the market yet until we're given better signs. Okay, and I can show you guys that right now. Here's our community again. So you can see Wednesday, you know, I'm on Eastern time, so this was done 3:17 p.m. So everything was pretty much cut out of our positions, whether it was ETH, LTC, or BCH. And so we got out of everything. And as you can see, you know, Wednesday around this time, that was pretty much the top. Okay, that's as, you know, close to the top as you're going to get without actually hitting the top. And we walked away from the market, and we haven't looked back since. So what exactly are we looking at in terms of trades? Well, first things first, you know, LTC is one of our, you know, big trades that we have been, you know, trading and utilizing in terms of its structure for the past at least 2 months. Okay, currently prices for LTC are at 78.44, and you could see that LTC also hit pretty close to 100, which was one of our targets, but now it's, you know, kind of dumping off like Bitcoin is. And I like to keep this chart up because whenever I start seeing some action in, you know, these right here, LTC, BCH, and Ethereum climb above the gains of BTC, that's when it's time to at least, you know, take some small scalp trades or intraday, intra-hourly trades. Get in, make some money, get out. Okay, unless BTC actually starts, you know, moving up in a consistent manner, it is not wise to, you know, stay in these trades for a long period of time. That's why we scalp, get in and get out, make our gains until BTC starts giving us better health, better healthy outlook, right? And like I stated, if you guys are just watching and just joining our video, $5,100, this blue marker is the level to look at. Until then, I would not trade into anything. If I were you, I'd consider even taking profit or getting out of your positions, because this inverse head and shoulders may play out, or it may not. We could dump further to 4,900 or even 4,805. Okay. Now, I wanted to show you guys what the ABC corrective wave structure looks like in this case. Okay, so here's that. Let me see something real quick. Okay, so I think it's on this chart over here. Here's the daily chart, and here's my 5-wave structure right there. That's what I have. All right, I'm gonna delete this real quick, and I stated that if this is the 5th wave right here, right? So here's that 3 top, which was 5,300. The bottom for the wave 4 was 47, 4,800, and the top was 5,500. Okay, so if that is the top for wave 5, well, here's how the ABC corrective wave is going to work. All right, so from there, let's assume that this is the bottom of wave 1. Okay, wave A. Wave B will need to come back up to, close to the previous highs, but usually it's a, far off rejection right before that. And then wave C stretches further than wave A, and oftentimes it could go deeper than the previous wave 4. So that might take us, either just a hair below the $4,800, which was wave A right there, or it may take us, even further down to 4,400, or this level that hasn't been tested as support right around $4,200 or $4,300. Now again, I'm not trying to spread FUD or anything. This is just exactly how the Elliott wave structures would play out. Now, if you were to ask me for my opinion, I personally think that BTC still has potentially another leg up, but for it to have another leg up, it first needs to cross this area right here, this $5,500 level. And if the sellers in that particular area are still waiting for prices to come back up and force another rejection on the way down, and on the second rejection we actually create a lower low. Hang on one second, let me draw that out properly. Okay, so here's that first rejection, right? And we came down, created this low. Okay, now say we head back up again, we create a lower high right there, but then also we create a lower low. Well, this essentially puts the nail in the coffin, guys, that we're going to go down further. How much further, I don't quite know. It may potentially be all the way down to either 4,800 again, or it could be down all the way to this $4,200 to $4,100 marker, which we haven't even retested as support, right? If you look back at after this ascending channel, we moved straight up, right, guys? We didn't even come back to this level that held us down for so long to retest this as support and then move back up again. So that could very well be a possibility that this entire region right here is a big gap that needs to be tested again as support before prices move back up towards 5,500 or potentially 6,000. Okay. Now I also stated that when we do a Elliott wave structure, right, we have a potential reverse retracement. So if we do from wave 1 down to wave 2, where does the reverse fib retracement take us? Well, 1.618 took us to $4,800, right? So now the 2.618 takes us all the way close to 5,800 bucks, which has yet to be hit. And 2.618 structures are also pretty heavily possible in this case, especially if we make wave 3 this right here, wave 4 right here. That means wave 5 would have to finish all the way up here close to 5,800 or maybe even the 6,000 block. Now the 6,000 block is going to be that big resistance level that we haven't yet faced, and to be honest, I'm pretty paranoid to actually even head up into that area because there's so many sellers waiting right here that are just willing to let go of their position and essentially just break even, because typically that's what people do. You know, they just want to get even on their position after having to wait, you know, since November time all the way in this entire period. And then once it gets here, they'll just sell off because they don't think that prices are going to go any higher. This might be it, because prices look weak, and then they'll sell, and then this eventually leads to that next capitulation phase that I've talked about for so long. Okay. All right. So let's talk about Bitcoin options if you've been, you know, watching and you're curious. All right. So this is on Deribit. I'm going to show you my account. This is one of my accounts. You can create, I think, multiple, at least like 5 or 10 sub accounts. My options are on this one right here, but I'm going to show you my account where I don't have my positions open right now, just because I don't want to disclose, you know, how much BTC or how much I'm trading with. Okay. So on this particular case, as you can see, you know, I have an equity of 0.16 BTC. Not that much, but again, this is just my sub account. And once this starts loading, I can show you guys exactly what I was going to show. Don't quite know what's going on right here. Okay. All right, there we go. Okay, so, oh man, I just refreshed again. All right, I apologize, guys. Let me just load this thing up one more time. These are the April 19th BTC options, and I'm going to go to the call side because I wanted to show you guys exactly how the call options work and how you can, you know, essentially take advantage. Okay, so on the call options, you have the bids right here, which is essentially the cost of the contract. Okay, the cost of each contract rather, and then you have the strike price right here on the right in the middle, and this, you know, same strike price applies to the puts right here as well. Okay, now if you're just new to options, all you really need to worry about is the strike price, which is right in the middle, and the cost of each option, whether it's a call or a put. A call option is you betting on the fact that, you know, you are hoping price of BTC will go up by the time the April 19th contract expires, which is in 6 days, 9 hours, and 12 minutes. Okay, if you believe that this call option today, Friday, 6:48 p.m., April 12th, can, you know, rise above, say, 5,125, that means that you will net, you know, whatever the price of the call option is at that moment, whenever the call option is going to expire, minus the price of Bitcoin, which may be, say, 5,500, or, you know, let's just say 5,625. So that's a $500 net right there, right? While that $500 increase happens, the cost of these bids right here will also go up. That means your call option now is not only priced higher right here, but you will also net the amount of money that BTC has gone up. Not the exact dollar value, but rather how much in proportion to your call option has it gone up. Okay, now I know this is a little bit complicated and I can't explain it all in one video, but I'm going to create a series of videos to explain exactly how call options work. But all you really need to understand is, in the middle, there's strike prices. If you believe that, you know, on this particular date, or even the other, you know, call options that are there, or options that are there, if you believe that price of BTC is going to go to X value by Y date, you can buy the call option. Okay, if you believe that, you know, whatever price is there, you believe that the prices are going to go below that, you can buy the put options right there. Okay, that's all you need to know about options for now, and I'll detail it more in my courses starting in the next, you know, 2 or 3 weeks. All right, let's go back to our analysis right here. Okay, so like I've stated, I expect, you know, BTC, if it can bounce successfully around, say, $4,800 and head back up past 5,100 and then 5,300. Our next target would be 5,500 resistance level. Okay, so if 5,500 resistance can be surpassed, then our target becomes 5,800 and potentially 6,000. Okay, beyond that, I have no idea. If we start, zooming past 6,000, first of all, I'd be really surprised if that happens. Kind of like this big candle did. I really doubt that that'll happen, but if it does, that's totally fine. I would expect at least a retest of 6,000 if it zooms past it, and then keep on moving up. Like I've stated before, I personally believe that prices will stay around the $4,000 to $6,000 range all the way to the end of the year. That's just my belief that price has to essentially make another big capitulation like move back down towards 3,000 or 4,000 to weed out unnecessary FOMO buyers, and then it could start making its next bull run. Okay, and I've explained this also on a chart comparison to the previous bull run of Bitcoin way back here in 2015, right? I've stated before that when Bitcoin came up from this bottom right here, it went up almost to from 160, let's just say 150, and doubled its price all the way to $300. So that's basically like going from 3,000 to 6,000, right? But then it had another move back down almost to its previous lows, back towards $200. Okay, so that means that price, if we reach 6,000, we would have to come down to at least 4,000 again. Okay, maybe 4,200. For that retest that we talked about, right? Around this area again, right? This $4,200 retest. Okay. Or what could be really scary is this. Okay, we may not actually be down here. We may actually be up here. Okay, now where does that kind of take us? Okay, let me sort of do this right here. We are currently, let's just say, right in this particular area. Okay, now if we start drawing something like this from this high right here, or actually let's just say from this wick right here, the top, all the way down to here. As you can see, that's another, or even right there, that's another 50 to 60% drop, right? Now, if we start doing that from the high of 6,000, okay, let's just do the same amount, right? 6,000, 50 to 60%, let's just say 55%. That takes us down all the way to $2,600. Now, I'm not saying that has to happen. I'm saying that that is a very high possibility that, in BTC, we could technically be up here, and we have another capitulative move down to be made once more. Okay, now I do believe that there are a lot of signs that are looking very positive on BTC's end, where prices are currently trekking around 5,500, or I'm sorry, 5,000, and they were just at 5,500, and we are coming up close to that ascending channel that we've had for almost 5 to 7 years. We are also coming pretty close to this EMA right here, or rising above it, but we may come down to retest that EMA around 4,200 and then move back up again. Okay, there are many possibilities. One possibility that I refuse to believe just yet is that we're just going to skyrocket, past 6,000. Unless, that actually happens, I refuse to believe that, because honestly, that's really not how markets function, and that's also really not how bottoms are created, guys. You don't just create a bottom like this for a couple of months and then you just skyrocket on up. Okay, bottoms are usually created with a big sideways accumulation move, ups and downs for many months, maybe till the end of 2019, and then in 2020, then we could start seeing, that sort of a parabolic move that we saw starting up in this area right here of BTC in 2016, right? So we spent, close to about 11 months of accumulation in this range, right? So this bottom was created January 2015. A higher high was created, November 2015 right here. So that's, about 11 months, as you can see. And so far, all we've, done right now is December 2018, and it's been, you know, April. Okay, so that's about 4 months, right? So 4 months is really not enough, or rather 5 months. So 5 months is really not enough of accumulation, especially when, you know, you had one of the biggest bull runs with a parabolic move, you know, on a log scale to the upside. That means that I personally think there's, you know, even more time to be spent in a bear market rather than the only, you know, 14 or 15 months that we've spent so far. All right, a good rule of thumb, guys, is that, you know, markets often spend the same amount of time going up as they do going down, or vice versa, right? So if we start taking, you know, say the bottom of this market right here, say this marked the end of capitulation from here, we spent about, you know, 1,557 days. If we just took that same move from there onward right here, the same amount of time we spend going down, that would mean in November 2020 is when we might mark the end of the bear market. Now, I'm not, you know, that aggressive with it. I personally think that it's got to be at least, you know, close to, say, beginning of next year. So let's just say, you know, February 2020. That's where we might start seeing some higher highs in Bitcoin and start moving past, you know, 6,000, 8,000 and beyond. Okay. I hope that helps. Now let's get back to our trades. Okay, let's see what trades we're watching. All right, one of which is BAT. All right, here's our BAT trade that I'm looking at. Currently, I'm waiting for BAT to come back down to this red box right here. This is essentially where, you know, I like to collect on BAT and ride this thing back up to the top of the channel. As you can see, BAT is coming pretty close to the bottom of the channel. It actually wicked yesterday, but I personally think that it needs to have, you know, another leg down, move a little bit sideways up on this channel, and then start moving on up. Okay, so currently the BAT level looks, you know, for a buy zone right around 0.27 all the way to, say, 0.285 if you're trading on Coinbase exchange. You know, we are hitting these descending trend lines right here. So clearly BAT is not ready to move on up just yet. Once we start breaking these trend lines, when we start moving up, you know, sideways along this horizontal level, I personally think this is where we're going to start moving on up. Okay, but clearly, you know, these descending trend lines right here is something that's really holding BAT down from the sellers. And I'm happy because I get to, you know, collect BAT right here and, you know, take another nice 20-30% move on the way up. Okay, sorry about that. Let me see exactly. So from here, if we measure it, you know, say we bought in like right around here, right, 27.8, and we take it to the top of the channel right there. That takes us almost, hang on one second, from here down, that takes us about a 40% move. Okay, so that's just, you know, if we went straight up. All right, so keep an eye on BAT, guys. It's been a trade that's given us, you know, plenty of good gains over the past few weeks. You know, I hope you guys like to make some money and make some gains. Come join our community if you do. But this is one of the trades we're looking at. One trade that I would urge everyone to let go is this one right here, XRP. This thing has been bleeding. I've been telling people to get out of this position since, you know, beginning of March. I think once we started breaking below this blue right here. Back then, prices were at least, you know, about 30% higher. You're now down 30 more percent. I also told people to, you know, sell on this candle right here. This was not a candle to buy or FOMO into. This was a candle to sell. Okay, you got to know the difference between when there's spikes like this to sell rather than to buy. All right, please, you know, do consider getting out of this position. This is not financial advice. This is just to save you on your money and, you know, potentially some headaches. Okay, another position that I'm, you know, sort of recommending that people get out of is TRX. It's starting to create some, you know, heavy bearish candles that look like they want to keep bleeding down further, maybe to touch that 618 fib right here, or maybe deeper into the 786 Fibonacci. I would not touch TRX until it starts moving up past 628 right here, which is the high of this wick. Why? Because there's clearly a lot of sellers up here, and until price successfully closes above this level right here, moves sideways, retest this level as support, and then keeps on moving up, I wouldn't touch it. All right. Ether is our other trade that I'm looking very closely at. As you can see, it's coming down to the top of the triangle to test it as support, which is a really positive sign because, you know, once it broke out successfully, it came back down. Now wants to test this as support, and I bet the next target is probably going to be this 193 level that we have. All right. So again, I would not touch anything, however, until BTC starts breaking up past 5100 at the very least. Okay, like I stated right here, and it looks like prices are starting to move up again on BTC. But remember, 5100 is the level that you want to see prices close above, especially at least on one 1 hour candle or at least one 4 hour candle. All right. Another reason I want to wait on BTC and some of our trades is I actually want to see the 4 hour RSI bottom out. I haven't seen it. Hang on, this is really hard to see. Let me make this yellow. Alright, so here's that 4 hour RSI. Okay, as you can see, it's floating right in the middle right there. I would love to see a bottom out. Last time it bottomed out was March, and then actually end of March, and then beginning of March. Okay, I personally love to see that bottom out, and I think if that bottoms out, prices may come back down to $4,800, and that would be a perfect pickup for BAT, Ethereum, or LTC, or even Bitcoin, right? So that's kind of what we're waiting on, guys. Half of trading is just waiting, so we are just waiting patiently, and we hope to get back into some trades later tonight or tomorrow. Again, come join our community, www.cryptosomniac.com, and then go to products and join our community. As you can see, especially on our gains reviews right here, we've had plenty of people make some good gains, 16.5%, 30%, 10 to 20% gains. We also have some newsletters. We have our other trades from the past. We also do some margin trading in here. We explain how that's done. We also have a Bitcoin analysis channel that I post into every single day with multiple updates. I post a 10 to 15 minute video every single morning, as you can see. And then I provide multiple updates through the day. And I also mention, when we're going to get into trades and when we're not, right? So you have a very vibrant community in here, and everybody's supportive, and we're just here to make some gains and have a good time, right? All right, folks, that's all I got today. I hope you guys enjoyed the analysis. Please take care. Have a good weekend. Have a happy Friday, all right? Cheers.